Live from the Counterpunch Media Studios in Davison, Michigan, it's time for real lives, real families, real fitness. It's time for Derek Noel Fitness.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 46, I believe. I might be wrong on that count, but we're on that path towards 52, which means we'll have put out one episode a week for a year. It's taken a little bit longer than a year, but we're trying to hit that big 52 number. We're getting pretty close. We're also getting pretty close on the YouTube, so if you could give this a like and a share and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Counterpunch Media. We are really close to 100 people, and we'd love to be able to hit that number. So if you could do us a favor and hit that subscribe button on YouTube, that would be awesome. Now, let's talk about today's show. Today's show, I had someone on who has been on before. She was on about a year ago. We had an awesome conversation. It's, to date, I think, still our most popular episode. And I felt like we really should bring her back, especially now that I'm doing a lot more interviews, and see how she is. So this week we have Miss Bernadine McCracklin. We like to call her Bernie from Bodies by Bernie. She has her own fitness studio now, and she's been crushing it through this entire time, especially through quarantine and things like that. And we talk about that a little bit too. Different things that we can do, that you can do to stay on it while you are maybe not able to go to a gym, or you've been kind of taking it easy and trying to get back into it. And we also talked about her son a little bit, because when she was last on, he was just getting started learning about health and fitness and really taking it seriously. So now that he has about a year under his belt, we really wanted to talk about that too. I really think you're going to love this episode. I love being able to talk to Bernie. I wish it could have been in person, but we are still kind of observing these social distancing rules to make sure. And yeah, without further ado, here is Miss Bernie. I'm sitting here today with Miss Bernadine McCracklin. I like to call her Bernie. She is the owner of Bodies by Bernie Fitness Studio and the team of Bodies by Bernie as well, the head coach, one might say. She specializes in weight loss, transformation, and bodybuilding competition prep. She coaches boot camps and does group and personal training. She has her nutrition science background as well. And on top of that, she also likes to do hair and makeup. She's like the ultimate one. So without further ado, Bernie, thank you for coming back to the show. I believe this is your second time.
Yes, it is. I'm so excited.
Yes. Last time we got to sit on a couch, which was nice.
I did.
But this time we get to be in your living room.
This is true. This is true.
So for those who don't really or didn't watch the last episode, because that was last year, why don't you give a little rundown about what you actually do besides what I just rattled off real quick, and how that kind of works on a day-to-day basis with some of the people that you work with?
Well, basically, I've been doing a lot of online coaching now. I've kind of merged most of my business into online coaching. So especially with what's going on right now, it's been extremely beneficial for me to do it that way. And it worked out really well because 90% of my clientele was already online. So I really didn't get too much of a hiccup. But basically, I work with individual clients depending on what their goals are. Like you said, like the bodybuilding, that completely changed this year because of the quarantine. And then also people who just want to lose weight or just even feel healthy and things like that. So I try to manage and customize their diet accordingly to what they got going on, which is, just for them personally. But as far as like how things are going right now, as far as like quarantine things going right now, clients really didn't take too much of a hit because I instantly merged them over to home workouts, so things that they could do. So we really didn't have a hiccup in that sense. And then we moved the boot camps that I was doing at the studio, we just moved them online. So it really just gave everybody no excuse to get their workouts in. and to stay connected with people. Cause I think that was really what a lot of people wanted, was the connection, and they go to the gym to get the connection, even though you're working out and you're sweating, and you might even say, you know, a couple of words to, you know, the next person, you know, around you, but it's really that connection that people miss. And even for me, you know, that was one thing that I noticed just with the first week of not being able to see my clients, was that connection. And so I was really excited just to put that online. It's been working out really, really well.
Yeah, I noticed a lot that you've been posting. You do, what, 3 boot camps
Yep,
a week?
3 times a week. Yep, 3 boot camps a week. And they last about an hour long. And, you know, we change it up every single time. So, and I specifically made it to where it's body weight exercises. So everybody can do it. And it doesn't even matter where you are athletically, because you're going to be able to gauge it to where you are physically. So, I mean, it's good. We sweat, we work hard, and we always feel good, like after the workouts and stuff. So
nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of started doing something similar, but minus the Zoom workouts, we were posting workouts of myself or my other coach. And we would post them in the morning, and we'd be doing them live just in a Facebook group. If people wanted to do them, we figure they would just probably pop it up on their TV or something.
Right. Yep.
We crank through a quick little like express kind of boot camp workout, and then we'd have one posted that was from our corporate office at night, and seemed to work out pretty well. The nice thing is people really enjoyed that connection, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it was connection, especially with we're in Michigan, so we were basically completely shut down, not able to do anything or go anywhere for a while.
Yeah.
And especially for those people who really need that social time, it was really rough. So being able to do things like Zoom really works out, especially if you're doing it with them.
Yeah. And I mean, and honestly, that was a kind of a major thing for me, because I usually train myself at the gym. And so bringing all of my stuff from the studio and then bringing it home, fortunately I had acquired all of this stuff, but, you know, I will say home workouts and gym workouts are totally different. But, the one thing about fitness is that it's all still in the range of fitness, you know. So you have your home workouts that you can kill it in, and then you have the gym workouts that you can kill it in. You can go outside, you can kill it outside. So it was, you know, for me, it was just one of those things that I got to enjoy. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh, okay, well, let me just do some home workouts, because I still love working out. So there's just a different way of doing it. And it helped for me personally. Conditioning was something I really wanted to work on. So I've been kicking my butt and my conditioning as far as being at home and doing my home workouts.
Yeah. And one thing I know that you picked up that I honestly never thought I was ever going to see you pick up was running. You've actually been running too.
Yeah. That was one of the things that I put down in order to focus more on bodybuilding, because bodybuilding is more like steady state cardio. You don't want to burn too much off too fast, and sometimes running will do that. And so that was one of the things that I kind of put on the wayside. But I said, as soon as quarantine hit, I'm like, that's really one of the things I wanted to focus on. And I'm telling you, I was so bad when I got started. It was very, very discouraging, you know, my first run back out, because, you know, I'm used to going faster than that, but I haven't ran in 3 years. You know, so, but now I'm back up to 12-minute a mile, which is pretty normal. But it started off a little bit around 20-minute a mile. And that was when I started. So now I'm back up to 12, which is pretty good for me. So.
Yeah, which is really good that you stick with it, because I feel like a lot of people, when they first start doing something and they're really bad at it and they get discouraged.
Oh, I mean, I completely understand, but it's you have to keep going, because you do get better. But that first time starting a diet, maybe the first time you send progress pictures, the first time you stepped on a scale, the first time, and who knows how long, it's discouraging. It's never what you want it to be. But it's just one of those things that you just have to keep going, because you just have to have faith that you're going to get better. And you do. You always do.
Yeah, the human body does some crazy things, including getting better at things.
Yeah.
A lot of times, a lot more quickly than you think.
Yeah, for sure.
I know for me, when I first started doing my workouts, because I ended up going and I hijacked a bench and a couple dumbbells, and like I have my 50-pound dumbbells are over at my friend's house because we were totally like, oh yeah, we're just going to go hit these gym workouts. And then quarantine happened and we were not able to go over there. So they're there. But I've just been using literally 15-pound dumbbells, and you know how strong and how heavy I like to lift. And I'm doing things with 15-pound dumbbells and I'm wrecking myself.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it's a whole other ball game when especially as someone who does like to pick up really heavy things all the time myself. And then all of a sudden I have to increase that rep range, and it's an entirely different form of training, which is honestly a good thing, because I feel like there are some people who, as soon as this hit, they basically just gave up on everything in terms of health and fitness. And it's really a big bummer, because it was almost the ultimate point in time to realize that in terms of health and fitness, you could reach out and grab whatever you wanted and just go for it. You can use it as an opportunity to work on something new, like running. You haven't run in 3 years. You pick that up. You wanted to work on your conditioning, so you were able to do that. Other people could use this as a time to try and figure out what they should actually be doing in terms of dieting, or in the case of someone who's been dieting for a really long time, maybe taking a break from the diet. Because
that was me too. I took, this was the time where I took a break from dieting and just started picking up new things. But I think that's part of, just the whole general range of fitness. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't just have to go to the gym to get a good workout. And I know a lot of people, they go to the gym, especially if they're doing like boot camp classes like that. It's because they want to zone out and they just want to listen to the instructor, and they want to get to point A to point Z and not have to think about it. But the thing about that is, what happens when the instructor's not there? You know what I'm saying? What happens if, there's a flooding or something, and you can't go to your favorite gym? Are you just going to not work out? You know what I'm saying? So as being coaches and instructors, it's our job to teach you how to work out, because when we're not here, because we can't be with you until you're 100 years old. I mean, that would be great, but more than likely we're all going to move on. But we have to have faith that, as instructors, we're teaching our clients that, you know how to work out, and there's something that you enjoy doing, or there's something that you've been wanting to do that you haven't done, that this is your opportunity to do that with. You have the tools. We've given you the tools, and now you get to use that and put it to work. It's almost like when you're studying something, and once you take that test and you're able to teach that test to somebody else because you're that confident in it, that's when you're good. You know what I'm saying? And as us as coaches, that's what we do. We make sure you have all of the tools that you need. So just in case we're not here, that you can still do it, and I think that's for me, is when I feel successful as a coach, because I know I'm not going to be there with my client for 50, 60 years, but I want them to know that, even though we're in quarantine, even though, we can't get to the gym, what to do. How hard you should be working. And this is the time to see if it's really a part of your lifestyle.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's one of the things that when I'm coaching people, I'm straight up with people. You've heard me tell people before, I don't want to have to be there for you forever, because I feel like then I would be a failure as a coach, because as a coach, it's my job to teach.
Absolutely.
And if you aren't learning, then I'm actually failing you as a coach, because the whole thing is just a big education process. If we can teach you and give you the tools that you need to be successful without us, then we're successful. Then you can go on and do your own thing. In the case that, or in the event that, we're all locked in our own houses for a month and a half and we can't actually be there in person. Is it kind of a bummer sometimes? Yeah. Because it really is a different ballgame from coaching, from being there with someone 3, 4, 5 days a week to train them and coach them, versus having to rely on Facebook
Yourself.
forum videos
Yeah.
and getting the workout done and not having someone to actually set the timer for you and go. And at the same time, though, it's a really good learning experience. I have a client that I was working with that we went from working together 5 days a week to having to do everything remotely. I've been working with my wrestler for 2 months now, completely remotely. I haven't seen him in person in 2 months. And it's just knowing that they have that drive in order to do it. And some people don't have that drive. But then that turns into a whole learning experience of, hey, like, when are you going to start that back up? Are you going to have to wait for it? Like, what if these places don't open back up? Then what are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess where I want to go next is for those people who have been kind of just hanging out, decided, I'm just going to wait for this whole thing to blow over. What advice do you have if they've decided that they found that breaking point, whether it's they can't sit around their house anymore. They feel like that they're just going to murder their family if there's if they're not able to go get some movement in, or along those lines. What do you have to say to someone who finally hit that breaking point and they are looking to start now? Like, where should they start?
I would say reach out to somebody that you have extreme confidence in, somebody that can help you and guide you, and tell you, how to start. Because sometimes, everybody knows what to do, but sometimes you need the accountability and then somebody to almost set you out a plan to get things done. I feel like someone who has reached their breaking point is, they're ready for that change. You know what I'm saying? So if you're ready for that change, it's going to be up to you to reach out to someone who can help you design a plan to get you to point A to point B. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've reached out to my coach and let him know, like, hey, I'm ready to get back on plan. Things are starting to come back. I have a little bit more organization in my day now. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody knows, especially with the times that are going on right now, things are crazy right now. Things are crazy. So, don't feel like you're the only one who, is not doing their workouts, or maybe if you gained a bunch of weight, the quarantine 15, who knows,
I like the ring of that.
The quarantine 15, but it's true. There's going to be half the people are still working out and half the people aren't. And the people that are at their breaking point, this is your time to say, okay, I don't feel good. I obviously feel like crap. I see what working out has done for me, because maybe this is the first time they haven't really worked out. You know what I'm saying? Maybe when they started working out, they were just go, 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 go. They never took a break, and they never understood what it felt like to not work out. And so that's a learning experience too. But, you just have to, you get to that point, you got to reach out. You got to reach out to someone. There's somebody that that can get you back on the right track. You need accountability, and you need someone to talk to so you can work your way through it. No one has to do it alone.
No. And I feel like there are a lot of people who feel like they do have to do it alone. So.
And I think, and a lot of that too is probably shame. Because you got to think, a lot of people, they've gained the weight, they quit working out, and they're doing everything they know they shouldn't do. And then they're afraid to reach out to their coach or to reach out to, someone they're confident in and be like, hey, I messed up. I'm just in a really bad spot. That's hard. You know what I'm saying? That's hard, but you got to hang that up, because you're not the only one. You're not the only one that is in this predicament right now. And, we get people as coaches, we get people at their lowest point. That's our job. You know what I'm saying? We take them from where they are, and then we build them up from there. So by you reaching out to your instructor or coach or something, we're waiting for you. We want to help you. We want to get you back on track. We want you to feel good.
Yeah. Again, you are preaching today, girl. Yeah. Preaching on that ball. No, but that's entirely true. Everybody feels like that, oh, I can't reach out to them. It's going to be super embarrassing. Like, don't. And what I have to say is, don't be embarrassed, because you're not the only person in the same shoes. It took me probably a good month to finally commit myself to actually working out at home.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I was basically just doing the quick boot camp workouts, and that was it, because I just didn't want to deal with it. And I kept telling myself. So like, it happens to me, and there's no shame in reaching out being like, hey, I really need someone to help keep me accountable to do this. And it doesn't even have to be a coach. It can be a friend who who's been doing things who's been doing these online workouts. It could be finding some random 6-week program from a company or bodybuilding.com or On It or any of these things.
And there's a bunch of Facebook groups out there right now. A bunch of them. Find one that works.
Yeah. Find one that works. Find one that you're into. Find one that lines up with what your thoughts are and what your philosophies are, and just go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Shifting gears a little bit. Last time you were on the show, your son, I believe, was either just graduating or just graduated high school. Sorry to bring up those memories.
I know. I just seen the pictures.
But he was also just starting getting into working out. And I know from talking to you a little bit here and there, but everyone else, I don't think. But he had a pretty big kind of jumping in point to actually working out and learning.
Yeah.
So what's he been up to, and how has he been handling both this, and how is he handling the learning process for health and fitness stuff?
He loves it. He absolutely, I mean, I'm telling you, like, he comes into my bedroom and just starts doing push-ups on the floor. I mean, he loves working out. He loves learning about it. He's definitely still in the beginner phase of, and this was a lot of us, especially when you're younger, you just kind of want to just go through the motion, so he's not quite there with the muscle mind connection, but he's understanding this, back roads are for your back muscles and stuff like that. So he's learning it that way. But he loves it. He loves to learn about it. He loves to tell me about it. And it took a while for him to really, get that up to speed. He didn't really start working out, I would say, until he's like 16 or 17. And then he kind of just went full speed when he started noticing his growth. And he started focusing more on his diet. He's super particular about his diet. I mean, this kid is like no cheat meals. He doesn't want any bad food. He just eats a ton of food. But most recently, he just started working out again. He had to take about 4 to 6 weeks off because he got mono. And so that really kind of threw him for a loop, because he lost all of the gains that he made since he started working out. And it was kind of depressing to him, because he's just like, Mom, I'm so skinny. I lost 15 pounds. And I'm like, I wish I had that problem. But, but he's losing so fast. And so it was kind of disappointing for him. But this is something that he's going to learn, how to build the muscle and how to keep the quality muscle and what kind of food to eat to help build, because, now he knows what to do. He can get there. He can get back just a whole lot faster.
Yeah. Yep. Plus it helps that he's 18? He's
19. He'll be 20 in November.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's got that young blood. Yeah.
He's got the young blood, testosterone.
Blood. Yeah, he's gonna be back at it in no time.
He'll have it back in a few months. What are some of the resources that you kind of pointed him to when he was first starting out, getting into this journey?
Bodybuilding.com was one. That was one of the huge ones that I pointed him, because there's so many articles on there, as well as different workouts for different body parts and things like that. So bodybuilding.com was one of the ones that I would send them to. I would send them different Instagram influencers and things like that I follow, that I would tell him to follow, that would have like more nutritional backgrounds and stuff like that. But that was more one of the things, I buy him little magazines and stuff like that so he can read it. Let me see here, and different YouTube channels. So every time I would see something, I'm like, oh, he needs to read that, okay, he needs to read that. He needs to, because he's young. He doesn't, I'm sure there's not a ton of his friends that are doing the same thing as he is. So, I just kind of have to send him the stuff, and then he can kind of read up on it and,
which is really cool. Yeah, which is really cool, especially because, like you said, he enjoys the learning process of
Yeah.
it. And
it's fun. I remember this part, I remember when you were
me
like,
too.
yeah, this is fun. This is fun.
Yeah, because I remember that when I was really going hard into it, bodybuilding.com was the starting point, and then YouTube was starting to become like this really big thing. Because back then, like YouTube was really big, but there were still people like uploading some pretty poor quality videos. And now there's some super high quality stuff on there. There's long form content, there's shorter things, and it's just such a good resource to use.
It is.
Especially when you know who to follow. So that's good.
Yeah. I'm proud of him. He's I guess it would be me, him, and my brother are really the ones that really get into the working out, and he's the one now going to like my mom and dad and everybody asking them why they're not working out. Like he's the one that gets to bug them now, so I'm done with that. So he's doing all of that stuff, so he's good.
Just a weight off of your shoulders.
That's right.
Yeah, so is there anything else you got going on? You've been working out for yourself, you've been kind of rolling that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think here. Just trying to, do different things. Our gyms are still not open yet. And so, honestly, I don't even know when they are going to open. And so I'm just trying to just keep up with what I got going on, the conditioning. I actually just called my coach today. And so we got a new plan going on for me. So I won't be competing. Not right now, at least, but I do want to get something I have some more structure going on, because I do like the structure of the meal plans and things like that. So, just getting back into that, make sure that my running, still keeping up with that. I'm going to sign up for hopefully the Crim if we have it, and do the 10 mile. And so I'm going to sign up for that and do a couple of different races this year too. So, I'm just trying to just stay busy and trying to, just enjoy being healthy and, and honestly enjoying a little bit of the extra time that I can go hiking and things like that in the middle of the week. I wouldn't be able to really do that, but now I can. So I'm going to take advantage of it. Yeah. So,
getting advantage of the outdoors, going out for walks and hikes.
Yeah.
And that's something else
a lot.
That's something else that people can do too, is just get outside.
Yeah.
Really just get outside, go for a walk, get that sunlight. I mean, it's cloudy today, but getting that sunlight when it's there, just getting outside, that fresh air really does do a lot of good. Yeah. Mentally. I mean, it's everything for me. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, I don't mind working out. I mean, fitness and working out, that's my therapy. That's my medication. And so you add a nice day to that, and I get to go outside. That's just like doubling and tripling the dose of, my endorphins and things like that. So it's been really lovely for me to be able to do that. And then also get the rest the real rest. It's crazy. Like the first 2 weeks of quarantine, I've slept so much. And I'm just like, why am I sleeping so much? But it was exactly what my body needed. And now I'm just rolling. I'm just rolling all day long, like not tired or anything like that. So I hope in this sense that a lot of people did get some of the things that their body really needed with the quarantine. I know a lot of people don't get their rest in. And so, and I hope that this time they were able to let their body recover in that sense, because sleep is very necessary. It's our healing process, and so when we don't get enough of that, we're not healing the way that we should be. So I'm enjoying getting my 8 hours of sleep, usually, if I don't stay up too late playing words with friends. Oh, those word games.
I know.
Working those mental muscles, though.
That's right. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, it's fitness for the mind. So I'm trying to
that's something that I've actually started doing is I'll play like some of those games on my phone, or I have a couple games on my PlayStation that are a lot of like hand-eye coordination
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So instead of playing things like Call of Duty all the time, I'll be playing some of those to like just keep my hand-eye coordination pretty well and keep my mental reflexes up. Because it really does, like playing one of those games either in the morning to help your brain wake up, or playing them at night to help just wind down a little bit.
Right.
It's all things that you can do to just help de-stress your body, because a lot of people are just so ramped up on stress, and it's almost like they live off of stress, and until they realize, oh hey, I got 2 weeks in a row of like 9 hours of sleep.
It's crazy.
Or for me, the first I think it was like the first 4 or 5 days of quarantine where I didn't have to wake up at 4 a.m, I was getting like, my body slept for like 12 hours.
It's crazy. I know.
And then finally it ramped back down, but that's because my body needed it. And since then, my mental clarity's been super good. I've woken up without really too many issues, unless the alarm's super early, or if I'm up late doing something, but those things,
I agree.
Those things all play a factor. So really, if someone's been kind of taking it easy, they might also be primed, like their body might also be primed to get ready to rock.
Right. When it's time to go. Yeah. Absolutely. So, I mean, there's so many different ways to look at this, and there's so many different, benefits that can come out of this if you look at it that way. And I know a lot of people are, they still have a lot of the anxiety and stress of not being around people and things like that. This is going to be the time to find out what does work for you when it's something that you want that you can't have right now. What does work for you? What can you do to help reduce the stress and the anxiety? It's so much learning that we could take advantage of during this time, because once it's over, we're going back to work, it's going to be, business as usual, and it's go time at this point. So, but at the same time, you want to listen to your body. If your body feels like it needs the rest, then give it the rest. There's no judgment here, but as long as you get your body moving and give yourself those natural endorphins, you want to make sure that you get those things in. But it's really about the time to listen to your body and regain some of that self-confidence that you may have lost when you've gotten into it. So
good. Well, I know you're a busy lady, you got things to do, so we will go ahead and wrap it up. But real quick, if people are interested in learning more about you, where can they find you on social media and stuff like that?
I am everywhere on social media. You can find me on Facebook, Bernadine and McCracklin is my whole name, or Instagram, Bodies by Bernie. I am on both. You can also email me if you're interested in online coaching at bodiesbybernie@gmail.com. And like Derek said earlier, I do have boot camps on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So if you're interested in that, you guys can email or find me on Facebook or Instagram.
All right. Thank you very much, Bernie. I really appreciated you coming on.
I appreciate it. I'm so excited to see you and to talk to everybody. And I enjoyed being here.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
So there you have it. Another episode in the books. Hopefully you enjoyed that conversation with Miss Bernie. I know I really did. We could have gone on talking forever. We actually did end up going off the record talking for about an hour afterwards, and I'm definitely going to make sure that she comes back on. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you go give Bernie a follow if you haven't followed her already. She posts a ton of really motivational and inspirational and informative stuff on her Instagram page, at Bodies by Bernie, and on her Facebook page, which I actually tagged her in the post earlier. And if you could give this video a share as well, that would do us a really big favor in expanding the reach of the show. I would like to be able to get this show a little bit bigger, so just so you know, that's where I'm coming from. Those things really do help. Maybe you know someone who can benefit from it, and maybe you know someone whose kid is trying to get into the health and fitness stuff, and these conversations with her about her kid really do help out as well. Speaking of, if you were looking for your kids, make sure you check out the episode from last week with Mr. Jerry Van Gilder. You can always find me here on Facebook at The Derek Noel. You can find me on Instagram at The Derek Noel. And you can find us on YouTube by searching Counterpunch Media. And remember, please hit that subscribe button. We are so close to our goal of 100 subscribers. That would do us a huge favor. We could do some really cool things once we hit that number. And I can't wait to be able to bring those things to you. So here you go. Another episode. Let's make sure that we crush this next week. Have a great night, everybody.